My name is Savarified, and I have a secret. When I was younger, I had this fear of being home alone. It wasn't very often, but oh man, I was paranoid whenever it happened. Every creak in the house was 1000% something breaking in. Anything I saw moving in the corner of my eye just had to be the scariest thing that I could possibly imagine. It's a really unique type of fear. You're not getting chased by sharks or running away from a killer. It's what you don't see. It's a kind of paranoia that surrounds you or makes you want to back up to a wall just so that there's no chance of something coming up behind you. That type of raw anxiety and fear is exactly what Five Nights at Freddy's delivered in the early games. But this week, I want to recreate that anxiety and fear by making my own FNAF game. In order to do that, we should try to understand what made these games so good in the first place. I think new FNAF games have lost something that I feel is incredibly important to what made FNAF so special. Something so often overlooked, but so vital that it was a part of all the original FNAF games, including Ultimate Custom Night. So what is it? Still images. The fact that Scott Cawthon was able to create such a sense of dread with still images is insane, and I'm gonna attempt the same. It's super important to me that anyone can play my games, even if they don't have a crazy super NASA PC, but I still want them to look nice. I mean, yeah, duh. But seriously, I'm not the first person to address this problem, and the solution here is genuinely one of my favorite methods of making games. Typically, to have the player in a 3D scene with normal maps, bloom, motion blur, path lighting, high depth shadows, and complex models, you'd have to make the game in a 3D engine that actually supports all of that. And that's what a ton of FNAF fan games actually do. No shade to any of these games, but many of them are multiple gigabytes and run poorly on low-end PCs. So what's the solution here? Pre-rendered images. All of the original games are entirely made up of these images stitched together, which is how they can both look good and run well without any need for optimizations. But how would that actually work? Well, if you play any images together fast enough, it starts to emulate motion. There are two types of images, states and transitions. States are the actual status or condition that the player is at right now. For example, when the player is looking at the hall, we want to show them this sprite, but if the player is using the flashlight at the desk, we want to show this one. Transitions are the movements from one state to another. For example, if we want to go from the desk to the window, we'll use this image sequence. We can model these states and transitions as a map, and later you'll see just how complicated that can get. If you're enjoying the video so far, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, it helps out a ton. Also, make sure to watch until the end to see an early access version of the game and some exciting announcements. My game is called Last Minute because the premise of the game is that you have to get your homework done before anything trying to get into your room can kill you. However, there's something that isn't important to this game, and that's cheap jump scares. I truly want this game to be about gameplay. I want elements and mechanics that take up mental space, stress you out, and put you on edge the entire time. So how should the monsters in Last Minute actually work? This part is going to get a bit technical, so skip to the next chapter if you just care about the game dev parts. Each of the three antagonists work in unique ways, so I'll explain them from simplest to most complex. First, we have the prototype. Every 5 seconds, the game picks a random number from 1 to 20, and if that value is less than or equal to his AI value, he moves forward in the hall. Remember that these values are from 1 to 20, it'll be important later. If he's at your door, which is attack state 2, you have a certain amount of time to close the door on him to reset his attack state. However, you don't have to constantly watch for him at the door if you listen for his sound cue, which sounds like this. But if you miss this window, he will kill you the next time you get to the desk. Next, there's Smiler. Smiler is a bit more interesting because you can actually prevent him from progressing at all if you're proactive enough. Essentially, it has a stopwatch that tracks how long it's been since the window was flashed and checks if it's greater than this equation. If it's been too long, Smiler will cause a blackout, messing with the lights in the room. Similar to the mask in FNAF 2, if you're in a blackout, you have to very quickly react by flashing the window. This resets his attack state to 0, but depending on his AI level, he could just move back to 1 on the next movement opportunity. Finally, we have Rocco. This character was originally supposed to act like the Freddles in FNAF 4. If you don't know how they work, they spawn when you're not looking, so you have to check behind you to use your flashlight to make them go away. Rocco is a similar concept in that you can use your flashlight to make him go away, but this is extremely hard in later nights. Basically, every 4 seconds he has a movement opportunity. Just like the prototype, if he picks a random number 1 through 20 that's less than or equal to his AI level, he'll move forward. But there's another condition here. If you flashed him recently, he will fail the movement opportunity. Additionally, if you flashed him even more recently, he will go down in attack state. Both of these intervals decrease as the nights go on, so he becomes increasingly harder to manage. Each of these monsters are difficult to beat on their own at level 20, but if we set each of their AI levels to 20, we get 20-20-20 mode. This is similar to other max modes like 420, 1020, and Aggressive Nightmare, and I'll be attempting to beat it at the end of this video. Okay, I know that I mentioned that this game is a little bit based on my childhood fear of home invasion, but there's a little fact that I haven't touched on yet. In Last Minute, there's a desk in front of you, a hallway door to your left, and a window to your right. Sound familiar? What? Yeah, no, it probably shouldn't. But it's familiar to me, because this is the layout of my actual bedroom. I'm usually pretty busy during the day, so I always ended up working on this game super late at night. I won't lie, it was a little bit creepy to make the scariest things that I could come up with in my own room. I don't have a ton to say about modeling and rendering all the art, so I'm just gonna play a montage of all the work I did. If you want to see the entire uncut process from start to finish of modeling the prototype head, I uploaded the VOD of my first ever live stream. It's in the description. Call me crazy, but these look pretty legit. I haven't showed anyone else this yet, but I'm hoping that it makes it scary enough to be a real FNAF fan game. However, next week, I'm going to be giving a couple YouTubers exclusive access to that game and hopefully getting their reactions. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video. When I release this game for real, it'll be free to play on itch.io, which I'll link in my next video when I finish it. But we still have one thing left to do, and that's to attempt 20/20/20 mode. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking the video or subscribing to my channel. I'll be posting videos like this in the future. Truly, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!